This must be the most important component in meditation. The earlier two components help to achieve this component to a great extent. However, to master this component, you need to practice separately. As the name suggests, this component of meditation is about dissociating oneself from the realities of your life. Of course, it's not in the negative sense like the DID or dissociative identity disorder of DSM-5. Now, I mean dissociation in a positive sense. Life throws us lots of bananas and stones. The idea is to protect ourselves from their impact. Alternatively, it is like having a raincoat when it rains or having a coat when it's cold. Basically, it's preventing oneself from being impacted by things that you don't want to be impacted by. In United unified meditation, unlinking is so important that failure to achieve progress in this component leads to the downfall of even great masters. So you hear the stories of so many yogis who have fallen from grace either out of lust or out of greed or through botched political maneuvers. These great masters could not unlink themselves from the objects of desire and the negative life events that surrounded them. You can take a look at the diagram. It is divided into two parts, the upper one and the lower one. The upper one represents the state in which there is no unlinking happening, and in the lower one we are showing what happens when there is the unlinking mechanism in the meditator. So the master yogi who failed from disgrace had not perfected the unlinking component despite having the ability to focus immensely and great intellectual capacity through mind work, as well as incredible talent at the soul work level. He had failed to perfect the unlinking mechanism that is shown below. So, what happened in his case, or in anybody's case who doesn't have the skills of unlinking, is as follows. So, the object like food, sex, luxury, revenge, etc., hits him in the form of desire. Nowadays, you don't have to go to red light district to be filled with lust, or to the high-end street of Paris to be filled with desire of luxury. You don't even have to own a gun to fulfill your desire of revenge. Respectively, you can be bombarded with desires of lust simply by watching not even a porn site but social media sites. The same goes for the desire of luxury. The artificial intelligence go bongus over suggestive videos as well as videos showcasing excess of wealth and wastage, and they come in our feed, reels, shorts, and then like helpless chickens we are consumed by them. And then the desire of revenge is so easy nowadays thanks to those same social media sites. Posting derogatory videos, photos, or comments about your enemy online is as good and effective as shooting that person. So today's desires are extreme. As you can see in the diagram, there is a red, black rectangle, and they represent a shaft that rotates, as I've shown with the red line. So what I'm trying to say is that those objects rotate you at the desire level, and then the desire affects another level of you, which is the obsession, and the obsession causes you to become the slave of that desire for that particular object. Consequently, as you can see in the last diagram on that same line with the 6 components, the inability to do something about this enslavement causes a rift, a huge gap that separates the above 3 components of focus, mind work, and soul work. Eventually, this person, no matter how much facade he puts on of a wise man, being unable to keep his focus straight and differentiate right from wrong, or make some logical decision, and bereft of spiritual soundness, falls from grace. The end game doesn't have to come swiftly, and it might come slowly, but eventually karma's a bitch, and this person gets caught, and then that's when we realize that the master yogi has fallen from grace, but the process had started long time ago when he failed to put in place the mechanism for unlinking. So I hope that you will not make that mistake. You can progress immensely in the remaining 3 components, but the gods will throw to you so many desires that you will not be able to shoo them away without the system, like I'm going to describe now. Mind you, I already talked about it as a concept earlier on. The same mechanism that the object causes, life events, especially the negative ones, also cause. So that is represented by the lower sets of black rectangles or shafts. So many times we are given a bad news, or we are subject of betrayal. These cause in us negative feelings and thoughts. Then we get attached to those, and then we are binded to the memories of those events. They eat us from inside. In our dreams, we will see so many snakes that represents the memories that we could not let go, the forgiving that we could not do. We will be drawn out of our radiance in the face, and again this leads to the same state whereby the lack of dissociation disrupts our focus, mind work, and soul work. In fact, this cause effect chain leads to most of the psychological disorders listed on DSM-5. So that is why you have to master the art of unlinking, as shown in the diagram below. You'll notice that everything is the same as in the above diagram, except that instead of the black rectangle, which is actually a rotating shaft, there is a clutch system with a pedal. As you will recall earlier, this is what we do when we drive a car. The same mechanism works in a motorcycle, except that we do it with our hands. Then if you drive an automatic, the same process is done, but by the microprocessors. So using certain techniques of meditation that you will learn below, you should be able to develop a system whereby you choose not to be associated with a particular object of food, sex, luxury, vengeance, or negative life events. You should not allow these to affect your desires and thoughts and feelings. What it means is that even if the opportunity came for you to amass great wealth, but it would be unethical, if not illegal, and yet no one would know, you should not have such a desire. It is like saying, show the cat liters and liters of milk, but he should not desire to drink that milk. It's almost impossible, but this is the state that we are striving for. Also, in terms of negative life events, even if someone betrays you, You should not have an attachment to that particular betrayal, meaning you should be unwilling to even curse that person, let alone have a desire to teach him a lesson. Again, it's not the victim mentality I'm teaching you. It could be forgiving, on the other hand. In a similar way, you should push the same unlinking mechanism between the desire and obsession, as well as between feelings and thoughts and attachment, and between obsession and being a slave of that desire. Also, you should put the unlink mechanism between attachment and the bondage of that memory. Again, I'm just reading from the diagram, and you will be wise to look at it yourself. Now, this all lead to the final diagram of the sixth component, whereby because the unlinking component has achieved this full state of maturity, focus is extremely powerful, as well as mind work and soul work. What it means, we'll learn in the respective component exposition. So, what are those meditation techniques that will enable us to develop this clutch mechanism to be able to unlink from desires and negative life events? Well, most of the meditation techniques are designed to achieve that state. So, there will be a long list below. Again, like I have been telling you early on, this is not a book that will explain, compare, and contrast the various meditation techniques. I will leave you to do more research on each of them if you so require. Instead, I will just give you a brief description in terms of this particular component of unlinking. In Vipassana, by associating yourself with the soul, and unlinking yourself from your current awareness, and trying to scan your body parts like legs, chest, stomach, and so on, you are imagining the process of unlinking. So it starts in a 10-day retreat where there is no desires around you, or the chances of negative events to happen to you is very small. In this way, unlinking is all about taking your awareness from the current mental state to various imagination of body places. It's a very good practice to start to learn unlinking. At the emotional level, we also need to practice unlinking. That can be done by developing feelings of loving kindness towards other people. At the beginning, you start by sending love waves to unfortunate people that you can think of. There could be hungry people who are suffering from famine, or homeless people. It could be people in war zones. Then later on, you have to send those loving kindness waves to people around you. Finally, you have to send those waves to people who have wronged you. Now that's the catch. It's very difficult. You'll have to develop new ways to think about them and reorganize their memories and the associated feelings. It's a very long process of forgiving. That is why this particular meditation is so powerful. Compassion meditation is very similar to loving kindness meditation, and I could have put them in the same category, but I wanted to separate them because in meditation, every feeling uh, has got its own depth and objective. Here, the idea is to send waves of compassion to the same list of people as above. It's about trying to understand why they did what they did rather than just being kind. It's basically getting into their shoes. You cannot be compassionate about anybody by looking from your vantage point. So, in compassion management, you have to train your mind to look from their perspective. Ask yourself, why would they have done what they have done? In order to master this meditation on compassion, it's not enough just to think, and you have to read a lot, do some research by talking to people, getting on the ground. For me, one of the best practitioners of compassion meditation are the psychologists who study criminals and try to understand why they committed those horrendous crimes. The insights that they get and are able to publish is a true compassion to humanity as a whole. We could never be kind and compassionate towards somebody who kills another human being, but if we are able to understand the inner workings of their minds, we will feel nothing but compassion, even to someone who attacks you, destroys you, humiliates you, or kills you. And that's the level of unlinking that I'm talking about. It's insane how anybody can feel even compassion to someone who has desire to harm him or who has actually harmed him. How could you feel compassion towards somebody who smashes your window in a road rage? And that's what it's all about. And the more negative the event, and still if you can be compassionate towards that person, then it means that you have made great progress in unlinking. Sound is a very effective way to dissociate with desires or life events. In fact, it's taken the opposite way by various department stores, clubs, pubs. You'll ask, how so? Have you ever been to club district? Well, they play music that's loud and reaches the street. Why? Well, basically, the music pulls the crowd inside the club. Also, music has been found to cause people to stay in a store and increase their desires to buy. So in sound bath meditation, it's the opposite. We usually use various sounds from singing bowls to any kind of soothing instruments that is available. Myself, I have used binaural beats a lot. They really help you dissociate your thinking from the desires that are clinging on you like the octopus, and the ghost of the negative event that you can't forget. However, you shouldn't depend too much on the sound, and you should use this to learn the inner working of your mind when you decide to unlink. Then you will be able to repeat that mechanism when it is required. The quickest and fastest way to unlink is to sing and pray. When you sing, it doesn't have to be a bhajan or a devotional song. It could as well be a love song. You'll notice that your mind is dissociated with the current problems, and that's the principle that's applied here. The same goes with prayers, where you speak loudly in your mind, so much that you silence the desires and the negative life events. While sleeping is a process that we are all familiar with, Yog Nindra is a bit different. Here, the idea is to try to keep your mind blank by being in the sleeping posture. You can say it's a derivation from the Hatha Yoga asana of Shavasana, or the dead corpse. The idea is to think that you are dead and see everything from the vantage point of being dead. Eventually, when you see all the desires that try to consume you and the negative events that try to get hold of you, As a dead person, it's a very powerful unlinking mechanism. Eventually, by practicing this technique enough times, it will become automatic, and your yog nidra will turn into extremely powerful nap. That is, in terms of the amount of freshness you will feel upon awakening. Mahesh Yogi's TM is basically about mantra. So I could have said mantra meditation, but I use TM here. They talk about a particular mantra achieving certain goals. To some extent, it is true, but as long as the mantra is able to help you dissociate from the current desires and negative life events, it's good for me. Myself, as I told you earlier on, I used the Hare Krishna mantra. It helped me in the difficult times when I was bombarded with inner fruition of my past life negative karmas. This is a very simple and effective way to unlink. So now you just need to find the right mantra for yourself. It doesn't have to be in Sanskrit. It could be any sentence. It could even be some kind of affirmation. In this meditation, the idea is to focus on your muscles. I do that a lot. Try to feel the lactic acid in your muscle after an exercise. It's just so liberating. By the way, lactic acid is an outcome of anaerobic respiration, meaning that the body didn't have enough oxygen, so it produced lactic acid when you exercised. It's a great way to unlink by focusing on the various muscles of your body. When you rest, just try to breathe and dissociate yourself from the noise in your mind and just focus on the act of resting. It's a very effective way to unlink. It works especially well when you are tired and it's evening and there is nothing you can actually do. In the afternoon, when there is actually things that you can do to solve problems, this will not work. Dancing is a great meditation if you choose to move in such a way that your mind feels a disconnect with itself. Now, what is important is dance meditation is not about a choreography. It won't work in that situation. This dance meditation has got to be natural and an expression of your mind. So, what is happening is the unfulfilled desires and the bottled up emotions inside of you will be expressed through the body in the form of a dance. Now, this is so important in unlinking. You have to clean the mess that is inside of you. Dancing is the easiest, fastest way. If you ever see a video of the Osho's dynamic meditation, well, it's a bunch of crazy people moving around, and they call it catharsis. And that's what it's all about. It's an extension of the dance meditation, but it's a really serious way for you to get those repressed emotions out. Until you do that, there's no way you can unlink. Fasting has many benefits and a downside in the form of gastric. As a meditation, it works if used to dissociate yourself from the hunger when it occurs. In this way, you are able to rise above the desire to eat. Now, if you can do that, you're really good on linking and rising above lust, greed, hatred, revenge, negativity shouldn't be a tough task. Although I'm not sure that every person who is very good at fasting is able to rise above those desires and negativity. But if you practice fasting as a meditation and keep in mind what I just said, your unlinking goals will be attained. This one is a continuation from the breathing component. So you practice the art of breath restraint But the only difference is that you have in your mind the idea that you are not just stopping your breathing, but you are sacrificing your desire for air. Now that's very powerful, and that really helps the process of unlinking. So as you'll notice, both in the fasting and the sacrifice of the breath, we are doing the same activity, and just our motivation or angle has changed. In this way we can achieve mastery in the process of unlinking. Let me go quickly into what the mastery of unlinking means at the various levels. In level 1 of basking, it would mean that we are unaffected by what people offer us. For example, somebody might tempt us with the prospect of easy money, but we will be able to deny that. Afterwards, we will feel relief because while our friends were scammed, we were not. So in this way, we learned the power of unlinking. In level 2 of unlinking, we would be able to go to a party where everything is free, from food to booze. So we would walk around, but we would not be tempted to consume more than we need. Also, even when people throw at us various slurs, we would be unaffected. At the beginning, it might seem tough, but later on, we would feel so much peace. And our focus would be always in the right thing. In the third level, we would not be tempted to have negative thoughts and feelings towards people who have harmed us. In terms of desires, we would feel some kind of self fulfillment. You would start to ask why you need that luxury item in the first place. So, in this level, the unlinking is happening at the cognitive and emotional level. At this fourth level, you would be an expert meditator, and it would be required for you to dissociate yourself with your own identity. Again, not in the psychotic kind of way, but in a way like even though I have got to be materialistic person in my career, in my meditation, I believe in the spirit soul, and I don't care about materialism kind of shift. Being able to unlink oneself from oneself is a great skill that will become handy in the various stages of meditation and life itself. In level 5, at the rocket level, you are so good at unlinking that in the deep recesses of your soul, when you will be given great superpowers, you will be able to let them go and unlink yourself from the great powers that you receive. Finally, in the swimming stage, you will be able to totally immerse yourself in the knowledge that nothing affects you in the world, and you are free from freedom. Nothing can bind you. Even freedom cannot bind you, and you will be willing to even be bound.